Hi, this is Elaine. This session today is called James and Josh Reach for the Sky. And it's a story about confidence and courage. So welcome. And we're going to start today, first of all, by making sure that you are really comfortable. So wherever you are, perhaps in bed or lying on a couch or sofa somewhere, just make sure that you're warm enough or cool enough, that your pillow is supporting your head. And when you're ready, just get yourself in a position where you can close your eyes, and you can choose when that will be. So to start with, I want you to focus in on your breathing. Just notice the way you breathe naturally. And then I want you to breathe in through your nose like this, and breathe out through your mouth like this. Do it with me now. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Let's do that a couple more times. Breathe in and out. In, out. You might even notice that your body's feeling a little bit more relaxed. Your mind is slightly calmer. You might find that your body is sinking just a little more into the bed. Breathe in, breathe out. So, are you ready for the story? I'm going to tell you a story about a boy called James. Now, if you have already closed your eyes, that's great. But you might just want to close them now, because your imagination, that wonderful imagination that's deep inside of you, becomes much stronger when your eyes are closed. So close your eyes now. Let your eyes get sleepier and sleepier, like this kid in a dream world. This kid I want to tell you about knows how to do many things. I mean, for example, he really loves animals, and particularly his black Labrador called Josh. He likes to play games on his computer. He likes to play some sports. He loves anything to do with nature and being outside. However, when he's in the dark at night, in his bedroom or anywhere else, he isn't very comfortable. In fact, he gets kind of scared. Even with Josh there, he's still scared. He doesn't really know why he feels like this. He just does. He wishes he could let go of all the things that worry him. He doesn't like being afraid. He doesn't like being anxious. Now, one day a man called Mr. Jones, dressed in a business suit, shows up at James's house. He says, "Hello, I'm Mr. Jones, and we're looking for people who would like to be the first humans to travel in our special rocket all the way to the planet Pecton." Now, James had heard about Pecton. It was meant to be a beautiful planet, very like Earth. Mr. Jones said, "We're looking for volunteers." James's mum said, "No way, I'm too busy." James's dad said, "No way, I've got too many things to do here." James's twin sisters said together, "We're not going into the sky for anyone. This is not our thing." And then Mr. Jones looked at James and said, "How about you? Would you like to go? It's going to be a great experience. Special rocket to Pecton. What do you think? Would you like to go? You can bring your dog if you want to," he said. James was very afraid. The first thing he thought about was how he would have to leave his mum and dad and twin sisters, his house. Josh looked up at James and nodded his head as if to say, "Come on, James, let's go." He thought about what it would be like to go to Pecton. He thought it might be fun and different and exciting. But he had no idea what it would be like to go into space. What if he didn't come back? What if? It scared him to even think about it. So, even though he was a little interested, he said, "No." Mr. Jones said, "Not to worry, but if you change your mind, here's my business card. Because you see, we're looking for people who are willing to test their bravery by going out into space." Over the next few days, James thought about Mr. Jones and his offer many, many times. In fact, he couldn't get it out of his mind. Every day his mom and sisters would remind him, "You know, this would be a wonderful experience for you, James." But James was still afraid. Days passed and he still couldn't stop thinking about it. What would it be like to go on a great adventure where no one else had gone before? What would it be like to be that brave, to be that confident? One night, he thought about this a whole lot before he fell asleep. And as he fell asleep, he felt like he was being carried off on a cloud to a different land. And when he arrived there, he met a tiny purple man with very short, stumpy legs. "Who in the world are you?" asked James. "I'm here to give you courage," replied the little person. "How could you, who is so little, give me courage?" asked James. The little man said, "It doesn't matter how small you are. Courage is big, it's huge. Do you want some of it?" "Oh, yes," replied James. "I need courage. I don't want to be afraid of anything anymore. I'd like to be courageous and brave. I'd like to be able to go into outer space and explore. And so the little creature said, "Very well, I will give you courage. Close your eyes." James closed his eyes, and the creature put his finger on James's chest and said, "Right there, in your heart is courage. You've always had it. It's just waiting for you to let it out." And he disappeared, just like that. Poof, gone. Just as suddenly as he had come. James was standing alone in this strange dream. A path stretched out before him, and there was a big sign on the side of the road that said, "This way." So he walked down the path. Suddenly he saw an interesting animal. It had pink and black stripes. It looked like a cat, but wasn't really a cat. It was much bigger than a cat, yet not quite as big as a tiger. It had 2 tails and 6 feet. "What in the world are you? And what are you here for?" asked James. "Never mind who I am. I'm here to bring you confidence, so that you can do or be anything that you want. You can stand up to anyone you need to, change the way you think and feel about things, take control of your own mind. In fact, with confidence, you can change anything you want." "So is this something that you want, kid?" James answered, yes, this is something that I want very much. I want to go into space to the planet Pecton, and I don't have the confidence to go. But how can you, who is so strange, give me confidence? You look so weird. How can you be confident when you have 2 tails and 6 feet? You're so different. You don't fit in. How can you give me confidence when you don't look like anyone else? It doesn't matter whether I fit in with anyone else. Confidence doesn't have to do with that, said the strange creature. Confidence is about being your own person, knowing that you're as good as anyone else, no matter what you're like to others. It has to do with how you feel inside, James, how you think, not how you look on the outside. So, I assume this is something that you want, is it? Oh, yes, said James, I want to be confident. And so the strange creature wrapped one of its tails around one side of James and the other tail around the other side and said, "Here you are. I'm sending into your body the ability to connect to your own confidence. You see, it's already inside of you, you know. You just need to be reminded that it's there." And he disappeared just as suddenly as he'd appeared. James woke up in bed, eyes wide open. Josh was sleeping next to his bed. James felt very different. I know I have courage and confidence. I'm brave. I'm as good as anyone else, he said to himself. I can go into space or do anything I want to do. I don't need to be scared or anxious about anything anymore. And as he sat there, a great big smile came across his face. Then an image came into his mind. He was on that spaceship on his way to Pecton, and in his hands he had a big black portal gun. When he was close enough to Pecton, he fired the portal gun, creating a black hole, and he could see all the stars and planets around the dark hole. He wasn't afraid. He knew this was what he had to do. Feeling confident and courageous, he watched the black hole suck out all the bad stuff, all his fears, his pains, his worry, his anxiety. And when all the bad stuff was gone, the black hole closed and the stars and planets were visible again. And he felt so good, so happy, so calm. He noticed that not only was he feeling courageous and confident, but he felt better than he'd felt in a long, long time. He was the boss of his own mind and body. He was in control. He could live the life he now wanted. He could be in the dark without being scared. He knows that his black portal gun is right there by his side at any time. And all he needs to do is open that black hole to suck out any bad thoughts or feelings. "Come on, Josh, let's go to Picton," he shouted. Josh woke up a little confused, but followed his master out the door, as a faithful dog would do. The trip to Picton was the most exciting thing he had ever done, and now he was on his way home. Sitting looking out the huge window in front of him in his white spacesuit and helmet. Strapped into his seat, he watches the shining stars and breathtaking planets out of the rocket window. Next to him, Josh is also dressed in his doggy spacesuit, sitting by his side. He notices that he's feeling much better, so much better. The sky is so dark, so beautiful, so massive. And then he sees the earth coming into view and feels excited at the thought of seeing his mum, his dad, his two sisters again. He feels confident, he feels courageous, as if nothing could make him feel anxious and scared again. And now for you, the person who is listening to this session today, you will also feel better, more confident, stronger, happier and calmer. And imagine that James has also given you some of his courage, some of his confidence. You are the boss of your own body, the boss of your own mind. You always have been. James is pretty sleepy after his big adventure, and he and Josh settle down for the night. He lets a little yawn out and pulls the covers up. Josh is in his bed on the floor and is happy that James is feeling so good about himself. James closes his eyes with a little smile spreading widely across his face as he remembers how good he feels, what he's achieved, and the fact that he hasn't even noticed that it's dark. He's so sleepy now, so tired. Moving into a deep, deep sleep. So deep. Night night.